Hmm. Well, good evening, family. Hey, it's your brother, G. Hightower, coming in for a special edition of the Late Night Love Chat. It's the first day of December 2023, 31 days remaining in this year. And I felt led to come on tonight, even though I haven't been feeling my physical best today. And thank you for those of you who reached out today and prayed for me. I super appreciate it, man. I believe in prayer and I can feel the strength of your prayers. And so thank you. I am feeling better than I felt yesterday. So we thank God for that. But still a little bit challenged in my body. But I wanted to come on tonight, family, to specifically share a few thoughts because I'm seeing around the country so many um, incredible men and women that I know personally and people that I'm connected to through social media, people that are literally quitting on love, people that are giving up on love, people that are looking at dating as though it is some treacherous minefield, treacherous minefield that they have to navigate through. Yeah, a mind barrier and a minefield. Right, every place that you step, like, oh my God, hey, don't step there, it's going to blow up, and so many people are in that space. Good evening, Queen Lavora, good to see you. And many people are struggling. I'm seeing so many people post things like, oh my God, look at the dating pool. The dating pool has urine and feces in it. I mean, what a horrible visual. So I wanted to come on tonight and share a few love nuggets for those of us who are single. And if you're not currently dating, eventually you do want to get married. Now, let me say this to all of the kingdom people, all of the believers, because the believers are saying, well, hey, Coach G, I just don't believe in dating because the Bible doesn't say anything about dating and they didn't date back in the day. Well, that was back in the day. And no, the Bible doesn't say anything about dating. True. The Bible doesn't say a lot of things about a lot of things, but we still have them and we still use them, right? The Bible doesn't say anything about technology and computers, but we use them. AI, but we use it. Cars, but we use them. Planes, but we fly in them. Bible doesn't say anything about those things. But yet, if you're like me, you put your hand on the side of that plane before you walk on that plane and you're trusting God to carry you, even though the Bible doesn't say anything about us getting on airplanes. One could argue, quite effectively, I might add, one could argue that it's not God's will for us to be on planes. Because if it was the Lord's will for us to be on planes, he would have put it in the Bible, So for those of you that are hyper spiritual and you think everything in life that pertains to the life of the believer has to be in the Bible, well, you're going to be living in the 19th century, if not the 16th or the 17th century. All right, listen. So let's be a little bit practical. And oh wow, Dr. Denise, yeah. So I guess if for no one else, my dear friend, my sister, Dr. Denise, if for no one else, I've come on for her tonight because this is what I was sensing again, family. I'm not feeling my physical best at all. I really should be in bed getting some rest. But I knew I felt led to come on tonight because I wanted to really encourage some people tonight who have thought about quitting on love, or watch this, that you haven't said that out loud, that you quit on love, but your actions show that you have quit or that you are considering quitting on love. All right, I see you. I see you, Miss Miley. Miss Miley said, okay, I have not quit on love. All right, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. So listen, I need you all to go ahead and share this room, family. We're going to share some awesome love nuggets in here tonight. I'm going to share with you tonight, family, a few love nuggets on why you shouldn't quit on love. And for those of you who may have been single for a long time and you would say, hey, Coach G, I haven't quit on love, but I just haven't had the right person approach me yet. Well, we're going to get into that tonight. Hey, Miss Jill, good evening. Blessings to you. Hey, Apostle Michelle, blessings to you as well. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. For those who don't know me, let me introduce myself. Please excuse me. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I am G. Hightower. I am the Entanglement Coach. Yes, the Entanglement Coach. And my job, I specialize in helping people get free from soul ties, entanglements, toxic attachments. And my ultimate goal is to get your soul whole so you are ready for your soul mate. And even for those of you who are already married or engaged or already in a deep, committed relationship, listen, I can help you too. All right. I could have helped Will and Jada if I had met them 10 years ago. All right. But here's the bottom line. The bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, that my position and the gift that God has given me for relationships, I'm not just another talking head on social media. As the chief consultant for Real Love Nation, I bring you almost 20 years of pastoral counseling experience. So I'm not new to this. I'm real true to this. I'm not just another talking head on social media, y'all. I'm passionate about this. I live this life. I study, I research, I eat as much as I can information so that I am ready to share with you. And of course, grow myself as a single man who is believing God for marriage. Yes, I have been married before. I have gone through a very painful divorce. However, it has not caused me to be jaded. It has not caused my mind to be, confused. It has not caused my heart to shut down, even though I suffered through a very painful divorce and was cheated on in a marriage. But guess what? I am nevertheless still, I believe in love. I'm not going to let 1, 2, or even 3 bad relationships of my past dictate my relationship decisions for my future. Listen, if you know that you are a lover, you've been built, you've been designed by God to give love, then guess what? You've got to take ownership of the relationship decisions of your past, because the reality is God did not give us those relationships. We chose to get in those relationships and we knew they were toxic. Come on, somebody. Listen, let's go ahead and keep it real in here tonight. Listen, you made those decisions. I made those decisions. All right. Listen, and let's go ahead. Hey, Miss Dorothy Brandy, I see your blessings on you. What's up, Bishop? Good to see you. Yes, absolutely, Miss Jill. Will and Jada could have used my help. I could have definitely helped them. Good evening, Miss Aretha. Thank you for coming in. Listen, so let me share this with you, family. Listen, we all have to take ownership of our own relationship mistakes. All right, our missteps, our misdeeds. All right. Good evening. Good evening. I see the warriors are coming rolling in. Mrs. Dewana, Michelle Reyes, Tanya, blessings on you. Thank you for coming in. So here's what's up, fam. Listen, especially in the relationships where we got involved sexually. All right. Let's go ahead and take it there, y'all. The relationships where we got involved sexually prior to marriage, we really got to take ownership of those relationships, because see, what happens is once sex starts happening in a relationship prior to marriage, it clouds your judgment. It literally causes you to look through a lens that is not spiritual, because you're no longer in a spiritual relationship. Yeah, you may be two spiritual people, but because you are putting the cart before the horse and having sex before marriage, you are illegally trespassing on someone else's mate. That's someone else's mate. Unless, sir, unless, man, no, Coach G, I don't agree with that. Okay, I got you. Hold up, wait a minute. Let's put some more truth up in it. Listen. So now, let's say that you do plan to marry her. My brothers, I'm coming to you first, brothers, because we are in the chief position of responsibility. All right. I know, brothers, a lot of us want to, we want to forfeit the position of leadership or responsibility, because it's like, well, it took 2 of us. Yes, it did. She had to say yes. She had to be a consenting adult. But brothers, we are the headship. We are the kings. We are the priests. We are the one that God looks at in terms of the level of responsibility in the relationship. All right. So brothers, I'm going to pull up on us first. Don't worry. I'm an equal opportunity preacher. I'm going to pull up on these sisters too. But brothers, I'm coming down our street first. All right. Myself included. All right. I'm not above you. We all in this thing together. All right. Because I done some shady stuff in my past too. All right. So let's talk about it. Let's chop it up in here tonight. Listen. So when we become sexual in relationship with a sister, prior to marriage, it doesn't matter if we intend to ultimately marry her. The bottom line is she doesn't belong to us yet. See, the scripture says, brothers, that when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. Until, brothers, we make her our wife, we're operating with her illegally. I'm not talking about in terms of the laws of the land. I'm talking about the laws of the kingdom, the laws of the spirit realm. We're out of order. And so now you can't expect God to bless that union when you're operating out of order. You haven't even established the covenant. And so, brothers, until we establish the covenant with this woman, we are operating illegally. We are trespassing. Because watch this. Blessings, Miss Monique. Good to see you. The bottom line, brothers, let me help y'all up in here tonight. Listen, watch this. We've all slept with some ladies that we ultimately did not marry. So, and watch this, many of us, in fact, most of us, we slept with women that we knew we weren't going to marry. We knew this was going to be a weekend fling thing, or maybe even a one-night stand. Okay? We already knew that. We knew what time it was. All right? Especially depending on where you met her. So, with that in mind, if we understand that we know that she's not my wife, that means she's another man's wife. So if we are sleeping with another man's wife, that means we are violating, and she might not be connected with anybody right now. So you can say, oh, well, you know, we're single. We're free and clear to do whatever we want to do. That's true. And it's not true. It's true in terms of how things operate on earth from a worldly system. It's not true concerning how the kingdom operates. Because now watch this, brothers, ladies, this one is for you too. Every day that we spend connected to somebody sexually who is not our mate delays the arrival of our mate. All right, let me put it like this. Every day that we hold on to that woman, ladies, every day that you hold on to that man and keep them as a sex partner is delaying the arrival of your purpose partner. Because guess what? God hasn't designed us to be omnipresent. We can't be moving toward the future and stuck in our past at the same time. Right? So we want God to bless us on future things, right? We want God to give us like an NFL or an NBA contract. You're signing a contract based on potential performance. My God, help me teach this thing tonight. Listen, we're asking God to bless us based on potential performance, but yet we're still involved in past pleasures. Woo! Yeah, we're going to just let that simmer. We're just going to let that marinate for a minute. So why is it fair that God would bless us based on potential performance of purity? Watch this, Jill. Potential performance of purity, potential performance of purpose, but yet we're still pursuing past pleasures. We're still involved and ensconced in soul tie relationships, which is delaying the opportunity for us to connect with our purpose partners or our soulmate relationships. So now, now watch this. Let's talk about soul ties real quick. Soul ties. Everybody drop in the chat ST if you believe in soul ties, because I do know there are a lot of people who don't believe in soul ties, and that's okay. That's why I'm an educator. That's why I'm a relationship educator, because I come to educate. Just drop ST in the chat if you believe in soul ties. ST, 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 ST. Not STD, but ST. If you believe in soul ties, all right? Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. All right. All right. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Miss Tanya. Thank you, Monique. All right. All right. All right. All right. Bless you, Miss Sharon. All right. Here we go. All right. Have you all shared this room yet? Come on now. Listen, your brother, I got up out of bed, y'all. I got up out of bed. I have not been feeling well within the last 24 hours. I got up out of bed to come on and teach you all tonight. All right. Amen. No Cash App, no Cash App, no PayPal, none of that. I'm just gonna come on and just teach. I just want to pour into you tonight because this is where I'm called to. All right. This is a significant part of the call of God on my life. So I just wanted to come and pour into you all tonight. All right. So here we go. Let's get into it. So if the plan of God, well, let's just deal with the heart. Let's just deal with the heart. All right. Ladies, let me pull up on y'all street real quick. All right. Thank you all for sharing. I appreciate you. So let me pull up in y'all's driveway real quick, ladies. If the ultimate goal for your life is to become a wife, I have 3 questions for you. Number 1, have you eliminated any past relationships where any of your exes think that they still have a chance with you? Do you still have an emotional connection or a soul tie relationship with any of your exes that you have been with in the past? Because the reality is this, ladies, that as many of you have indicated here in the chat, soul ties are indeed real. No, you don't see the words soul tie in the Bible, but you can see soul ties in the Bible. And let me say this, there are good soul ties and there are negative toxic soul ties. All right. We see in the Bible in 1 Samuel, the Bible talks about the relationship between Jonathan and David, King David. The Bible says that the soul of Jonathan was knit to the soul of David. It goes on in that same chapter that Jonathan's soul clung to the soul of David because he loved him as his own soul. All right. Y'all just drop one word in the chat for me, love. If you've ever felt like you love this person just as deeply as you love yourself, and maybe you became imbalanced in your heart and mind in that relationship where you started loving them, they became more important than you. You put their priorities and their needs above your own. I wish I had some real folks up in this Real Love Nation broadcast tonight that'll say, yep, that was me. Yep, love. Yep, love. Yeah. I see you, Michelle. Yeah, amor. Yeah. Yeah. My cherie amor. Yeah. Yeah. She was the pretty little one that I adored. Oh my God. She's the only one my heart beats for. How I wish she was mine, but she married somebody else. Oh my God. I thought it was me, but it wasn't me. It was him. Then I found out it was him too, and him too, and him too. Oh my God. So it wasn't G. It was he, and he. And me too. Oh, you too? Oh, hamburger. Yeah. Man, she was like Suge Avery. I had her, you had her, we all done had her. All right, y'all forgive me. Whew. I'm tired and it's late, so we're subject to go off the rails tonight. So y'all just buckle up. Bless you, Miss Terry. Thank you, dear. I appreciate you. All right. So considering that many of us have been in those type of relationships, right? So now here's where many of us are now in this season of our lives, prolonging our singleness because we gave so much of ourselves in those unhealthy, toxic relationships that we're no longer willing to give of ourselves in a potentially healthy relationship. In fact, because we're so fearful of getting hurt again, we'll sabotage the good relationship. We'll push away the good person because I ain't trying to get hurt again. I ain't trying to get used again. I ain't trying to get abused again, right? And so what we'll do is we'll sabotage, we'll push away a good person. Watch this. I want to share with you a few love nuggets tonight, family, that'll help you to see that this might be you. You might be in this boat of why it's been very difficult for you to open up your heart to love, or the fact that you have maybe not verbalized it, but in your heart, you've internalized it. I've quit on love. I've quit. I give up. I'm done. And I know that many of you are done because I'm watching what you're posting. I'm watching what you're blogging. I'm watching what you write about. I'm watching what you talk about when you go live or when you're doing your podcast or when you do, or the things that you're commenting on in other people's posts. I can see that many of you in your hearts have given up on love. All right. So let's dig into it. Let's look at a couple of symptoms that will help us to see, have I really quit on love? I don't think I have. I really do want to be married, but I think I'm giving up. I think I've quit. I think this dating pool has urine and feces in it, and I'm done. I ain't trying to get up in that. Who wants to swim in that? All right, here we go. Love nugget number one. What'll help you to see if you have really given up on love is that you are unwilling to compromise. All right. Now, I want to use this word compromise lightly, family, because I personally don't like the word compromise. But for the sake of this conversation tonight, beloved, here in the late night love chat with your brother, Coach G, we'll just jump in here and we'll kind of use this word compromise because it is something that we're familiar with, right? So here's the thing. Now, in terms of setting healthy boundaries for yourself in a relationship, it is very much acceptable. It is totally okay and necessary for you to set boundaries and have some deal breakers. All right. What things are deal breakers? What things are not deal breakers? Okay. It's very much important for you to do that for yourself. All right. However, family, sometimes we are calling things red flags that are not a red flag. We're calling some things deal breakers that may just require a conversation. All right. Listen, let me bless you with this, ladies and gentlemen. Every healthy relationship. Hey, Miss Maisha, blessings to you. Good to see you. Every healthy relationship, Dr. Denise says, stop watching me. Every healthy relationship, family, requires adjustments, changes, and sacrifices. And if you are unwilling to make adjustments, changes, and sacrifices, then you're just not ready for a relationship because no one is perfect. You're certainly not. And so if we know that no one is perfect, and there's only one perfect person that's ever graced this planet Earth, and his name is Jesus the Christ, Yeshua. So if we know that Yeshua is the only person who's ever walked this earth, who's been perfect, then we ought to have the mindset and the realistic expectation. Watch this, Miss Jill. Watch this, Terry. We ought to have the mindset and the realistic expectation that if I'm not perfect, I cannot expect perfection from someone else, right? That's not fair. So some things, family, that we call a deal breaker is not a deal breaker, all right? Let me give you an example. One young lady who is a dear friend of mine to this day, I took her out and we had a long drive back home to her house. She was really tired and she was fighting sleep and she didn't want to fall asleep. And I said, listen, go ahead and lean your seat back and you can go ahead and go to sleep. Because now it was late. This was a Thursday night and she had to go to work the next day on a Friday. So it was late. And so I knew she was tired. And so boom, I let her lay her seat back. Baby, when daughter leaned that seat back, she was snoring in my car. Whoo! And I'm not talking about the little baby bear snore like, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about mama bear snore. I said, oh my God, you scared me. Oh my God. Thought that was Michael Myers or something. while, while I'm driving down the road. Now watch this. For me, because I sleep like a baby, like I don't snore, and I'm a sound sleeper, but I'm somewhat of a light sleeper. So if someone is laying next to me and they snore, like that's a problem. It's gonna wake me up. So like, yo. And so yes, this is what Holy Spirit gave me peace right here, Terry. She was exhausted and she felt safe. And so guess what? I did not disturb her at all. I didn't touch her knee or like bam, elbow her like, hey, buddy, you're snoring in my car. You know, nah, I let that sister sleep and get her sleep on. Now watch this. That's not a deal breaker for me because snoring can actually be fixed. So that wasn't a deal breaker for me. And the reason why we're still good friends to this day is because we just decided that we were better as friends rather than being in a relationship, you know, in a romantic relationship. So we chose to be friends and we've been friends for years. Love each other to life. All right. But now watch this. Some people would think that that's a deal breaker. Snoring is not a deal breaker. That's something that's repairable. All right. So now you have to determine what are realistic deal breakers. And then again, we're talking about red flags. Some things are not red flags. Many of us right here on this in this session tonight, right here in this live, a lot of y'all just have zero compromise in you. Anything that doesn't fit your paradigm, anything that doesn't fit your lifestyle, you're ready to quit on that person. Throw away the relationship. Why? Because she snores? Because he snores? That's something that can be repaired, especially if the person is a little bit overweight. All right. So I want you to consider, family, that to be open to a relationship in a healthy partnership, that you need to make your own choices, yes. But being in a committed relationship, it may mean that you have to let some habits kind of slide. You know what I mean? Some things are habits. You know, this person is 40 something years old, you know, so they're not about to change certain things that they've always done for you. You know, I had a lady friend who I love dearly. She didn't like the fact that I hummed. You know, I'm a music person. I've been a music person my whole life. 17 years as choir director, award-winning choir director, I might add, to the glory of God, right? So music is always going on around me. Music is always going on in me. And sometimes I'm walking and I'm just humming. You know, I don't sing a lot out loud. Well, it got on her nerves. And she always had something to say about it. And so I finally told her, I says, listen, boo, you definitely got some habits that I don't like. All right. So what I don't need you to do is be constantly highlighting my habit of humming like that is such a huge toxic problem. All right. Because you got some bad habits that's not good at all. Now, if I put your habits up on our virtual billboard versus my habits, which one you think would be the loudest? Which ones you think would be considered the most obnoxious? So, but every person has to have those things for yourself. What are deal breakers? What are not deal breakers? What are you willing to let go and let slide? And it's just not a big deal. Or things that for you, that is a big deal. And you say, you know what, that's something I can't live with. So those things that you know you can't live with, then boom, you keep those things firm. But some things, y'all, we just don't have to address every little thing. It's not a real big issue. All right. Uh, well, Miss Terry, that's an obvious one. Yeah, that's an obvious one. I mean, the brother you got to have some teethus. You know, if he ain't got no teethus, you know that's a problem. Yeah. Miss Jill says my daughter's been singing since she was a child. Yeah. Yeah, totally understand that. Yeah. Okay. I totally get it. Yeah. I totally understand that. Yes, I know that's right, Mr. Wanda. Same thing for me. Listen, um, hotheads, a woman that has a quick temper, immediately I will pronounce the benediction on this situation. May the Lord watch between me and thee. We're about to be absent one from another. Yeah, I don't deal with hot tempers. All right. My mom and my dad had a hot temper, and I've worked on myself for years. I've worked on myself for years to not be like my mom and dad. All right. Lady Felicia said implants. What do I think about implants? Um, are you talking about breast implants, Lady Felicia? I I I do know some women that have breast implants and other kind of implants. Yeah. Um, I I personally don't have a problem with them. I personally don't have a problem with them. I mean, if that's what you like, as long as they look good. Oh, oh my God in heaven. I'm just saying. Listen, Miss Monique, listen, I hugged a lady. I'll never forget. I was at the NAACP Awards and I was being blessed to receive an NAACP award. And I remember this one lady, I remember her giving me a real tight hug. And when she hugged me so tight, it almost kind of hurt my chest. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. Your chest ain't supposed to be harder than my chest. What you got in there? I'm like, hey, hamburger. What what's in there? I'm just trying to figure out. I'm like, hamburger, what? I just didn't understand. I'm like, oh my God, boy, that's a rough way to go. She could tackle somebody on the football field. Oh my God, she could actually injure someone. So, so that is Benjula said maybe she has some old school ones. I don't know. I don't know if they were old school, new school. I don't know what type of material they were. Hey, I'm a gentleman, so I didn't ask none of those questions. I could just feel it. And so when I felt it, she was, she got all up in there. So many people get all up in that hug. They try to get all inside your skin. I'm like, oh my God. You might have bruised me. Might have bruised my sternum. Oh, I might be on injured reserve after this hug. My God. So listen, hey, no harm, no foul. So later on in conversation, she told me, she was like, I hope you're not I hope you're not offended by my I forgot the word. She used some really pretty word. It wasn't implant, wasn't that she used some really pretty words. I hope you weren't offended by my I think she said my augmentation or something like that. And I was like, augmentation. I'm like, oh, no, I wasn't offended. I'm not offended at all. I mean, it might have hurt a little bit. It wasn't quite as pleasant as I thought. My God. Oh, okay. Come on. Let me go. Let me show you a couple of these other love nuggets, family. Talking about, I'm going to share with you some of these signs on how we can see ourselves if we've actually quit on love. All right. Um, this is a huge one, family. Um, love nugget number 2. One of the signs that shows you that you may have quit on love and that you may no longer be committed to a healthy long-term relationship, especially not one that leads toward marriage, is that you are a constant casual dater. You are a constant casual dater, or maybe even we could call a serial dater. Um, yeah. Hey, Prophetess Mona, good to see you, dear. Prophetess Mona, I owe you a phone call. Yeah, no, Dewana, she been bypassed the church hug. She went past the church hug into some other kind of hug. I mean, it was intense. Sister girl was trying to get all up in my skin. Hmm. You know what, Terry? I'm not even gonna go there with you. You know what? You ain't right. I'm not even gonna go there with you, Miss Terry. Was it bulletproof? Oh my God. Listen. Oh my God. This reminds me of this is right. Yeah, absolutely. Sure was, Dewana. Uh yeah. Hey, I don't know. Um, all right, let's go. Let's go, family. So, one of the next Love Nuggets, family, again, is that you are a casual dater. You may find yourself only attracted to people who just want to hook up for a short time and just have a good time rather than people who have the potential or at least a desire to build something for a lifetime. All right. If that's you and you find yourself constantly connected to people like that, you're a casual dater. Or maybe you are a serial dater. All right. You don't want nothing serious. You ain't trying to be like that. You ain't trying to be about that life. All right. Because the reality is your heart is probably not healed. And therefore, you're not willing to open your heart to the potential of something that's long term. So you're satisfied. You've made yourself content with casual dating. All right. So you just tend to date people who just want to keep things low key. You tend to date people, you tend to really enjoy long distance relationships, LDRs, because you know that chances are he's not going to leave where he lives and move to your city. And you definitely ain't trying to leave your city and move to where he lives. Right. And so, with that said, it's like, okay, well, hey, this is just casual. And whenever he's in town, boom, we'll go out and we'll enjoy each other. And or I might fly up to his city and we'll hang out for the weekend and enjoy each other. And then that'll be it. But you're really not trying to build anything long term. All right. This is a real key indicator that you've either given up on love, given up on marriage for sure, or at the very least, that you are not interested in this season of your life in trying to build something that's healthy. All right. Because you're so fearful of what has happened to you in the past that you ain't trying to have anything too serious because you don't want to repeat the pain of your past. All right. Let me share this love nugget with you real quick, family. This one is a real important factor. Love nugget number 3, talking about, have you quit on love? One sure sign that you have quit on love and that you are done, absolutely done, is that your mindset is not, oh, wow, I'm looking forward to meeting this gentleman. I'm looking forward to meeting this awesome woman who's a new relationship. Your mindset is more so of, dang, they seem really nice, but I'm just terrified that things may not work out. What if things don't work out? And so, because your mindset is more so looking toward the possibility of things not working out, you're in a place where you don't even want to go out. Why should I go out? Why should I date? Things are probably not going to work out anyway. You can't trust people nowadays. Let me ask you this question. Let me have all y'all respond to me. If you are a trustworthy person, if you consider yourself a trustworthy person, somebody just drop in the chat one word for me: trustworthy. Trustworthy. That is one word, by the way, family. Trustworthy. Trustworthy. If you are a trustworthy person yourself, you consider yourself trustworthy. All right, ladies, that you would trust yourself to be with some other woman's son. Brothers, that you would trust yourself being with another man's daughter. All right. Or let's take it one step further. Ladies, that you would trust yourself and the character and who you are. You would trust yourself to date someone who was your son. All right. I'm not talking about an incestual relationship, y'all. All right. Stay with me. Stay with me. I ain't talking about dating your son or dating your daughter. I'm saying that you would trust the character of who you are, the person that you have become, that you would trust yourself. A person like you would trust them with your son. You would trust them with your daughter. All right. All right. All right. I see you, Monique. All right. I see you, Dr. Carlinda. All right. I see you, Dr. Denise. All right. I see you, Michelle. All right, Jill. All right, Benjela. All right. Terry, great question. I'm going to come to that question. All right. Now, all of that said, if you consider yourself a trustworthy person, my question to you is, aren't there other trustworthy people in the world? Or are you the only one? You and your little friends. Are you the only trustworthy person in the world? Or are there other people who could be your counterparts who are also trustworthy? But maybe you just have not allowed yourself the time to connect with trustworthy people. Or you've made so many bad decisions in your past that you no longer trust yourself. As a dear friend of mine, awesome businesswoman in Atlanta, she says, you know what, Dr. G, I so need your help. She says, because my hem picker is broke. My ability to pick good men is just broken. All right. So if your hem picker is broken, brothers, if your her picker is broken, I understand why you're in that place. All right. Jill said, absolutely not. Jill, there's absolutely not any other people, your counterparts, your male counterparts that are trustworthy. So you the only, so you on Gilligan's Island, right, Miss Jill? You on Gilligan's Island, you the only person that's trustworthy, you and your friends and family. Thank you, Miss Sharon. I'm talking to some real folks up in here tonight. All right, listen. I put this information out there last week, and you all have a wonderful opportunity to get involved this week. All right, listen. Okay, that's real. That's a real answer, Michelle. I see you, Apostle Michelle. All right. Apostle Michelle says, I just don't know anymore. Okay, that's real. That's real. All right. So listen, I gave you all this opportunity last week. I'm gonna do this again. Listen, I'm restarting from the very beginning. Apostle Michelle, I think you sent me a message. So this is for all of y'all. Okay. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. I'm starting from the very beginning. I'm going 4 straight weeks for our relationship autopsy. All right. Oh my God, relationship autopsy. Did someone die? No, it's a relationship autopsy. And yes, someone did die, emotionally speaking. You and me, we died. A part of us died when you go through a divorce. A part of us dies even when we've been in a long-term relationship and then that relationship ends. And many of us think that we can just get out of that relationship, and the best way to get over an old relationship is get right into a new relationship, the most toxic, unhealthy thing you can do. All right. I highly advise against people even getting involved in ministry. They want to take on a new ministry assignment because they just got out of a divorce or just got out of a bad relationship. You need to sit down for a while, a cool little minute. All right. So, great question, Prophetess Nadine. So someone has died, and the purpose of our relationship autopsy is to help determine the cause of death. to help determine the cause of death. Why did that relationship die? Why did that marriage end? What happened to me? Why I was in that relationship? Why did I stay so long? And I knew it wasn't healthy. I knew it wasn't good for me. I knew that joker wasn't no good. But what part of me stayed there and I didn't move? I didn't leave. Right? Listen, the relationship autopsy, family, is a 4-week relationship intensive. All right. And the goal of the class is, again, to evaluate and assess where our relationship blind spots are. Why do we keep attracting the same type of person over and over again? Why do we keep attracting the same people? Why do we end up dating the same type of people? Why did we get married not once but twice or more, but basically to the same type of broken jokers? What's broken in me that I'm so strongly attracted to broken people? Ladies, here's a question for y'all. What's going on with you that you bypass good men because you want to date the man with swag? So the relationship autopsy, family, it begins tomorrow. All right. It's a 4-week relationship intensive. The class will be Saturdays at 8 p.m. through the month of December. Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, that's 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Once again, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific time. All classes will be on Zoom. So guess what? Even if you missed the class for whatever reason, you're out shopping, you're doing the family thing, or maybe you had to work. Guess what? All classes are on Zoom. And then, boom, once the class is completed, you'll receive the class via email and you'll be able to watch the class at your leisure and watch it as many times as you want. So even if you can't make it to the class, sign up anyway. You need this class. I want you all to move into 2024 with clear vision, having a clear mindset, and having a mindset where you say, you know what? I am not going to make those same mistakes that I made last year. I am not going to make those same mistakes that I made in the past. Come on. So listen, this is, yes, come on, Prophetess Nadine. So this class is going to be life-changing for you, family. All right. And then we also have a workbook that you'll be able to go along with us as well. All right. So these are the kind of things that you do to invest in yourself to make sure that you are taking right steps toward making better relationship decisions. All right. The relationship autopsy, and this is a revelation that God has given me, family of God. I promise you, you won't hear this kind of teaching nowhere. And I submit to you that what's revelatory about it is that from just looking at it from an autopsy standpoint, a physical autopsy is something that forensic psychologists and detectives, they look at this so they can determine the cause of death. Why did this person die? When they're conducting the autopsy, they're looking at external factors to determine the cause of death. What's wonderful and revelatory about the relationship autopsy, we're looking at the internal factors that determine the cause of death. So typically, what do we do in a relationship? When things go bad, we look at all the things that she did wrong, all the things he did wrong, and we're pointing the finger and we're playing the blame game at all the things they did wrong. Very rarely do we take the time to really thoroughly examine ourselves and say, what did I do that caused that to go wrong? What did I do to push him? What did I do to push her in the wrong direction, or it caused our relationship to get off track? What did I do? Yeah, they did have some terrible toxic behavior, but what did I do to contribute to that? Or at the very least, what did I do? What was going on in my mind that caused me to stay as long as I did? All right. What caused me to stay in this place of being in this unhealthy relationship? Or why did I even get in a relationship in the first place? Hamburger. What's going on with me that I would even choose that person? Isn't it interesting that we'll do the replay later, a year later, maybe 6 months later, but a year later, 2 years later, it's like, ugh, I can't even believe I was with that person. Yuck. What was I going through? Has anybody ever had that? Yeah, come on, Brother Ray Ross. Introspection. We call it Monday morning quarterbacking because this is what all of the football analysts do, Ray Ross. Come on, Ray. You and me are just alike. We do all the analysis on Monday to just talk about, yeah, see, last Sunday, what he should have did, like it was crazy to me that everybody had all of these different thoughts about my boy, Dak Prescott. Shout out to Dak, black quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, Dak was balling and we won the game last night. Now everybody want to talk about all the stuff that Dak should have done. He balled out. What are you talking about? He threw for 299 yards, 300 yards. What are you talking about? The brother won the game and threw no interceptions. But all of the analysts will talk about all the stuff that he could have done better. And this is where many of us find ourselves. We always talk about what could have been done or what she did. Oh, well, if I would have been, Ray Ross, I would have did this better. If I would have been Miss Aisha, I would have did this better. I wouldn't have took all of that. You've taken worse in your relationships. But here you are. You want to look at somebody else and you want to be more introspective about their relationship, but you don't do a good job at examining yourself. Isn't this amazing? So here's where we are, family. Listen, relationship autopsy. I want you all to join us tomorrow. All right. This class is not going to be big at all. Once I get to 35, that's going to be it. I'm cutting it off. I think we currently have, 18 people registered. Once I get to 35, that's going to be it. All right. Because I want to make ample time available for our Q&A sessions because we all get so much out of the Q&A sessions. And again, we're going to be going through a workbook together. So we want to give ample time for that to happen as well. All right. So how many people would be interested? First of all, I don't even know. I want to make sure. I don't want to be presumptuous. I want to make sure, has what we talked about tonight, is this resonating with you? Does it make sense? Is this blessing you in any way? Let me know. So let me know I didn't get out of bed for nothing. It is, Jill. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff, Dr. Denise. All right. So if you are interested, let me know in the chat if you're interested in attending the class. Again, it's a 4-week relationship intensive. All right. It's a 4-week intensive. All right. You're interested, Prophetess Nadine? All right. Good stuff. Amen, Dr. Carlinda. That's good stuff. Good stuff, Dr. Carlinda. All right, Miss Aisha, I see you. Things you teach about as well, Mr. Wana. Okay, good stuff. So so again, the class starts tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific time. All the classes are on Zoom. So once you register for the class is only $97. That's for all 4 weeks. $97 for all 4 weeks. $97 one time for 4 weeks. You know what that equates to? $97 divided by 4 equates to about what? $22? $22? Something like 20, 25. Well, I don't know. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me act like I got some sense. Yeah, $24.25. $24.25. That's about the cost of you riding through Chick-fil-A. All right, through the drive-through at Chick-fil-A. All right. Thank you, my brother Ray Ross. I appreciate you, brother. All right. So if you're interested, you all let me know in the chat. I'll pause right here and I'll take a few questions. Miss Terry asked a great question. I don't want to go back to, so let me scroll up to Miss Terry's question. And you all will excuse me. I know I wasn't responsive to everybody's questions tonight or comments, but I wanted to focus on just the content that I wanted to share. So I trust that you all will give me grace. I'm not feeling my best tonight, but I at least wanted to get out of bed so I can be of service to you all tonight. Amen. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, family. All right. Oh, bless you, Miss Terry. Miss Terry, you are awesome. Thank you so much. So Miss Terry's question is, what are the steps to bringing down the fortified walls to serial dating? I love Miss Terry. She is deep. I love this question, man. All right. So let's go. Let's dig into it. So the steps to take toward bringing down the fortified walls to serial dating. So number one, we have to eliminate fear. All right. We have to eliminate fear. And beginning the process of eliminating fear, all right, is this: that I first take accountability for the fact that I've made mistakes in my past. I've made some relationship decisions in my past, right, that were unhealthy. I started having sex in my relationships of the past. It clouded my judgment. It diminished my discernment. And as a result, I stayed in that relationship, even though I know it was unhealthy, even though I know it was toxic, even though I know God wasn't pleased with me, and I know it wasn't no good, but it sure felt good. And so I stayed there longer than I was supposed to stay. So eliminating fear, Miss Terry, and ladies and gentlemen, this is for all of us. It involves all of us acknowledging and taking accountability for the mistakes we've made in our past. All right. That's a significant part of eliminating the fear. All right. Being accountable, owning up to that thing. All right. The A clause of James 5:16 says it like this: confess your faults one to another and pray for one another so that you may be healed. So healing in our soul happens when I acknowledge, when I confess, yeah, I did that. And that begins the journey of eliminating the fear, because now once I confront what the issue is, now I can conquer it. But we cannot conquer what we refuse to confront. We cannot conquer what we refuse to confess. All right. So as you always hear me say, I'm going to confess my mess. That's the first step toward eliminating the fear and getting those walls brought down. All right. Here we go. Love nugget number 2. Listen, love is an action word, right? Love is a verb, you know. Shout out to Schoolhouse Rock, the first black superhero. Verb. Verb. Yo, what's happening? Soul brother with the big afro, you know what I mean, with shades on, you know what I'm saying? So love is an action word, right? So now I have to, if I'm going to eliminate the fear, watch this. Here we go, Miss Terry. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm going to eliminate the fear, if I'm going to break down these walls of being a serial dater or a casual dater, then I've got to intentionally set what I call family. I have to intentionally establish what I call a vision for love. This is what's going to keep us out of doing the casual dating thing, because now I'm going to date with purpose. Watch this, Miss Aisha. Watch this. I know, Dewan, I'm telling my age. Listen. Let me bless you with this, ladies and gentlemen. When you have a vision for love, shout out to Mariah Carey. Listen, when you got a vision for love, now I'm going to have set boundaries. Why is there necessary, Pastor G? Why is it necessary for me to have a vision for love? Because where there is no vision, the people cast off restraint. The people take a big eraser and they eliminate boundaries. So to have a vision for love is going to keep me set in a set place of having clear-cut, healthy boundaries. Watch this. Miss Aisha, let me bless you with this. Lady Denise, let me bless you with this. Dr. Carlinda, listen, this is going to bless you. Listen, it doesn't matter how fine a sister is. If I meet her or she approaches me or whatever, it don't matter how fine she is. When I begin having a conversation with her in my spirit, man, I'm asking myself the question, does she fit the description? My God in heaven, help me teach this thing tonight. Listen, I'm asking myself, does she fit the description? It doesn't matter how good she looks. I don't care how fine she is. The fineness don't mean nothing to me. Listen, I'm born and raised in Hollywood, y'all. I done seen all the most beautiful women on the planet Earth. So I don't care how fine she is. She can be looking like candy. Oh, she looking real sweet. You know, I don't care how fine she is. She can be looking like candy, smelling like candy, and all of that. But if she doesn't fit the description of my vision, if she doesn't fit the description of what I have written and what I prayed for and asking God for my purpose partner, if she doesn't fit that description, which is going to be more so me determining what's on the inside, not looking at how wonderful she looks on the outside. If she doesn't fit the description, then I already know, boom, we're going to put this thing in a friendship zone quickly. We ain't going to play around with it. I ain't going to be going over her house and she can't come over mine. We ain't going to be sliding out, dating casually and all this, because casual dating ultimately leads into casual sex. I don't know why we be playing. We grown folks up in here. Casual dating leads to casual sex. You are not going to be hanging out with people on any kind of consistent level, and you are physically attracted to them, and they're physically attracted to you, and we ain't going to ultimately have sex. I don't care how much Holy Ghost you got. See, this is the kind of stuff that the church don't want to talk about. That's why I'm called to it, because I'm gonna talk about the stuff that the church don't want to talk about. We're going to go there. I'm talking about men and women of God in the pulpit, men and women of God of the clergy, men and women in their wonderful regalia and their wonderful priestly garments and their beautiful crosses hung around their necks and the sashes and all of the wonderful other, accoutrement. None of that stuff matters. You are a human being. You are a man. You are a woman with your awesome anointed self. You are wrapped in flesh. And if you casually put yourself in situations with the attraction, with attractive people of the opposite sex, if you constantly casually put yourself in those situations, you will casually find yourself stumbling into sexual sin. Everything for our lives, great men and women of God, has to have a purpose. And so when we date with purpose. What is the purpose of dating? The purpose of dating is for discovery. 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 Discovery of what, Coach G? I'm glad you asked. Discovery to see if this man or woman fits the description. Do they fit the description of my vision for love? Do they fit the description of the person that I believe is my purpose partner? Do they have the character traits? Do our personalities match? Do we serve more as a complement to each other or conflict with each other? All right. Come on, Mr. Wana. So I need you to understand, great men and women of God, that we have to stay focused. And the last love nugget I'll give you on this question, Ms. Terry, how to make sure we pull down these walls of casual dating or serial dating after we have a clear vision for love. The last one is that I've got to make sure that my soul is free, that I no longer have any soul ties, and I'm no longer suffering from any soul wounds. What are the soul wounds? The soul wounds are the pain and the fear of abandonment, betrayal, rejection. Those are the top three: betrayal, abandonment, and rejection. Those things are directly related to relationships. And those are soul wounds that a lot of us are carrying from previous relationships. And it's caused us to really kind of shut down our heart. And this is why you see people saying stuff like, the dating pool has pee in it. Oh, I ain't trying to date up in these streets. The world is different now. Yes, the world is different. But just like you're a good person, God has some other good people out there. All right. So you got to make sure that your soul is whole. Your soul is free. You got to make sure you're free from any soul ties. A lot of us have soul ties with our exes. We don't realize it, but we think that just because we're in a co-parenting relationship and we're no longer having sex, that we don't have a soul tie. You do have a soul tie. The soul doesn't have anything to do with sex. Sex just intensifies the soul tie. But the soul consists of our mind, our will, and our emotions. So a strong soul tie can be present, completely absent of sexual intercourse. All right. So you got to make sure that you no longer have any soul wounds, and you got to make sure you don't have any soul ties. I ministered to a lady who was married. She's been divorced for 8 years. And when she went through my coaching, did one-on-one coaching with her, she went through my coaching, she realized that she still had a soul tie with her ex. He's remarried and got another kid, got a whole nother teenager. She's been divorced from him for 8 years. He's remarried, got a teenager. And she gets along well with his current wife, and she's the ex-wife. But there were some things that happened as of late, and now that she doesn't have anybody in her life, she now begins to envy his wife. And the reality is that she still had a soul tie with her ex-husband. But watch this. Just like an infection on a physical level can be hidden inside the body, and we don't even realize that that infection is there, and it may take some time before it comes to the surface, and then it shows symptoms that we now have an infection, something growing inside of our body. So the soul infection works the same way, that it's not until you get into a new relationship that the soul wound or that infection of the soul, the bleeding that's been happening on the inside of you because of that heartbreak, that disappointment, that betrayal, and you suppressed it and you just kept it moving. You suppressed it and you kept working. You suppressed it and you kept still building your business. You suppressed it and you went traveling. You suppressed it and you kept doing ministry, but you never addressed it. And so any wound that goes untreated, after a while, it becomes infected, including a soul wound. Hi, my brother David Jones. Bless you, man. Good to see you. So, again, family, you have the opportunity to join us tomorrow for the beginning of our 4-week relationship intensive. Yeah, absolutely, Miss Lanice. This is what most of us do. We only placed a bandage on it. And watch this. What's terrible about that is we put bandages on situations that really require surgery. This is this is a soul tie. This is an emotional wound that goes deep on the inside of us. And it has not only been bleeding for a long time on the inside of us, but it has now become infected. And watch this. Now, every person that we connect with, every person that we touch, every person that we date, every person we get involved with, they become infected too. Because family, you know the old adage, hurting people hurt people. To put it in this context, if I'm suffering from a soul infection, whoever I engage with in a relationship, I infect them too. Not just have an effect on them, I begin to infect them. Whatever is causing my hurt, even unconsciously, I will hurt them too. Yes, absolutely, Miss Sharon. It's exactly what happens. Yes, come on, Miss Terry. So this is what happens, right? So now, again, the purpose of this relationship autopsy, family, that I need all of you to be a part of, is that we're going to determine what was the cause of death in my relationship. What went wrong in my relationship? What went wrong that I ignored the warning signs? What went wrong? What part of me died spiritually that I did not pay attention to the red flags? Because watch this, ladies and gentlemen, God always gives us red flags. He always shows us the red flags. Always. Why didn't I pay attention to it? Listen, family, let me confess my mess. This is going to help somebody else. I was in premarital counseling, going through it with my ex-wife. I was in premarital counseling. And in week 3, week 4, like some stuff came out right there. I should have stopped right there and be like, oh no, oh my God, this is too much. Hamburger, wow, we finding out all kind of stuff is not true. I should have stopped right there, but I didn't. Kept this thing going. She even knew that this was like, okay, yeah, this is not acceptable. And she told me, I fear that you're going to change your mind. I fear that you're not going to want to marry me. I fear that you're not going to. And this is what my ex-wife told me. I fear that you're not going to want to go through with this. I fear like you're not going to. And I was like, and what did my stupid tail do? Because I was broken. Watch this, Miss Aisha. Watch this, Sharon. This is going to bless you. Watch this, Miss Terry. Because I was so broken, all I wanted to do was reassure her that I'm not broken. I wanted to put up this false bravado. You know what us men do. Oh, no, I'm straight. No, I'm good with mine. I'm good. I'm straight. What you talking about? This ain't nothing bothering me. What you talking about? Girl, you better raise up, man. I'm a real brother over here. What you talking about? I'm built like that. I'm him. I'm him. False bravado. All rooted in pride. And you know what the scripture says. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty, arrogant spirit goes before a fall. I don't want y'all to go through some of the painful stuff that I went through. I don't want y'all to waste any more time. If your desire is to be married, I want to help you get on the road toward marriage. I want to give you the tools that's going to help you be relationship ready. How many people in here feel like that you are ready for a relationship, but you could use some work before you get into your next relationship? All right. Throw up a 7 if you feel like you are ready for a relationship, like I am open to it, but I can use a little bit of work. If you could use a little bit of work before you get into the relationship, throw up a 7 in the chat. If you feel like I'm ready for a relationship, but hamburger, I don't know. I can use a little bit of work. All right. All right. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you, Miss Aisha. I see you, Dr. Denise. All right. I see you, Michelle. All right. So listen, I'm going to do for y'all the same thing that I did for the previous class. All right. But this is only for tonight, family. This is only for tonight. It's only for tonight. If you, my body is wearing down and my voice is wearing down. So I'm gonna wrap up and get myself back in the bed. If you would like to be a part of this class tomorrow, okay, I will take $40 off so you can register tonight. That's only for tonight only. All right. If you're here in the class, here in the session tonight, and you would like to be a part of our session, I will do for you what I did for the previous class. I will take $40 off tonight, but it's tonight only. All right. One night only. One night only. All right. All right. Anybody want to come tomorrow? If so, let me know. All right. Family, I love you. I'm going to get my wonderful anointed self back in the bed. This has been good. I'm glad that this blessed you tonight. I hope it was helpful. I hope it shed some light on some areas where you look and say, you know what? Yeah, I need some help. I want to go to another level. I don't want to keep making the same mistakes that I made in the past, right? Because we've all done it, family. I've been guilty too, y'all. Listen, I'm one of the most transparent brothers anywhere. Okay, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Dr. Carlinda said, I was strongly considering it, but I am not anymore. Strongly considering attending the class, but you're not anymore. Oh wow. Well, that's too bad, Dr. Carlinda. You can certainly. Um, okay, bless you, Miss Terry. That's too bad, Dr. Carlinda, because you've been connected to me, Dr. Carlinda, for at least 2 years, maybe 3 years or more. And if you don't see value in what this anointed Black man is offering, especially as much as I poured into you, if you don't see value in it, then I don't know what to tell you, Dr. Carlinda. Because I've even offered you free sessions, one of which you didn't never show up for, Dr. Carlinda. I ain't trying to put you on blast because I love you. I love me some Dr. Carlinda. But I've even offered you a free session, $247, free, complimentary, and you didn't even show up. So, Dr. Carlinda, you have to determine when you're ready for yourself. The old adage is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So that'll be up to you, my dear. All right. I love you, family. Blessings on you once again. All the information is right there on the screen. Our 4-week intensive begins tomorrow, December 2nd, rather. And we begin at 8 p.m. via Zoom. All right. Love you. Abundant blessings to you. Have a great night. This is your brother, Coach G. We'll see you tomorrow by God's grace.